Hey, what's up YouTube? How's it going? It's Forever King here. So if you've been looking on social media lately, looking into like the Mortal Kombat community and what's been going on, you're going to be seeing a lot of controversy. Mostly in regards to is Mortal Kombat 1 dying, people voicing their concerns around like the negativity involved with the game. So that's kind of the topic I wanted to focus on today. So before I even start addressing the controversy and start getting into my opinions about everything, I want you guys to understand I'm one of the biggest Mortal Kombat fans. Mortal Kombat's been my favorite video game series of all time ever since I was a kid. Mortal Kombat 9 is not just my favorite Mortal Kombat of all time, not just my favorite fighting game of all time, but it's literally my favorite video game of all time. Mortal Kombat X, 10 out of 10 game for me, probably in my top 10 favorite video games of all time. Both Injustice games are probably in my top 10 favorite video games of all time. I mean, you know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, any like opinions or controversy that I address is just constructive criticism, and it's out of love for the game. Is like, I want this game to be the best it could possibly be. I want Mortal Kombat to be the best it could possibly be. So yeah, I just wanted to get that out the way before I started addressing everything else. So with that introduction out the way, I want to get to like the very first thing that people talk about, the first complaint and controversy, which is the online. The online is probably like the number one thing holding the game back from being, as great as it could possibly be. So I'm going to voice some of the concerns, regarding that. So as you can see here, I'm in the online menus for Mortal Kombat 1, and I want to start off with this online practice mode. You see how it says coming soon ... in the bottom left corner? So this game came out September 14th. As I'm recording this video, it's January 23rd. We're quickly approaching the half-year point from when this game is released. And for it to not have online practice mode, someone like me, I like being a teacher. I like taking on students and taking them into online training mode, teaching them frame data, teaching them characters, matchups, things like that. Like back in Injustice 2, I could teach a lot of people Batman, take them in online training mode, teach them how to play Batman or whatever their character that they wanted to learn. I can't do that in this game, or I can't be like, hey, Sonic Fox, let's test some things online together. For example, like there's no online training mode. And this is a basic feature that this was in Injustice 1 in 2013, over 10 years ago. This was in MKX, Injustice 2, MK11, and it's not present here. And like I said, we're approaching the half-year point, still no online training mode. Also, as you can see, there's no lobbies. You can go all the way back to Mortal Kombat vs. DC, which was in like 2008 or 2009, and there was online lobbies: Earthrealm, Netherrealm, Necropolis. Each lobby could have up to 100 players, and there was a chat where you can like hang out, meet people. Hey, what's up? How's it going? Like, any Sub-Zero players want to get some games in? Lobbies are like a cool way to like meet like-minded players online and just interact and have a good time. And like I said, lobbies, they were in Mortal Kombat vs. DC, Mortal Kombat 9, Injustice 1, MKX, Injustice 2, MK11, and there's no online lobbies. So they're in every single NRS game. And majority of all fighting games online have lobbies where you can either like walk around an open world like Street Fighter 6 or Dragon Ball Fighters or Guilty Gear Strive, or just like a lobby where you can scroll down, see a bunch of names, click on someone, send them a friend request, ask them to fight, a chat log. But for some reason, Mortal Kombat 1 does not have lobbies, does not have online training mode. If you even scroll up to ranked here, Warrior Shrine, ever since September 14th, it's said coming soon ... But no, there's no announcement in when there's going to be a Warrior Shrine, no announcement in when online training mode is returning, no announcement in when if there's going to be lobbies at all, ever. The online's pretty bare bones. It's just ranked, casual, private, and that's it. And a lot of the times in ranked, I'm sure you all have heard, there's a lot of desync issues where 1 out of every 3 or 4 matches, you desync from the player. And it could be in the middle of the set. It could be 1-to-1, and you guys are doing the tiebreaker match for the best 2 out of 3, and it'll just desync randomly. And I'm not sure how the score goes, like if it gives you a loss or if it gives you a win randomly for desyncing. But it can just be kind of annoying when you're just trying to play ranked and have a good time and get better at the game, and you keep getting disconnected from the matches consistently. Some people say they get it even more frequent than every 3 out of 4. And then even if you go to like King of the Hill for casual, King of the Hill for private, King of the Hills are notorious for being really laggy in this game. A lot of times when you invite people to King of the Hill and it lags out, you have to restart the King of the Hill all over again and re-invite everyone all over again. Like, you can't invite someone to a King of the Hill that they were just in, that they just lagged out of. So yeah, if the online was fixing this, it would go a long way into addressing a lot of concerns that people have and why people are saying that Mortal Kombat 1 is dying. Or, you know, that's like the number one controversy I would say is the online, because at the end of the day, most people play online. Only some people have the privilege of having like someone at home that's really good that they can play against, like an offline. Majority of people get their matchup experience online or just their daily fun online. And if the online's not functioning properly, or there's not a lot of content online to, you know, play and have fun with, then that's going to be a big issue. Alrighty, so look what we got here. The second biggest controversy for Mortal Kombat 1 after the online, I would say, is the Pro Tour. So this Pro Tour, if you look here, it says the Mortal Kombat Pro Tour competition starts October 20th. But this post, let's see when this post dropped October 6th. So this post dropped October 6th, 14 days before the very first Pro Tour event, East Coast Throwdown. So that's only 2 weeks. So you had 2 weeks to get a flight, get a hotel room, buy your tournament registration, and start preparing to go to East Coast Throwdown to try to get points for the Pro Tour. And it wouldn't be that bad if, let's say there was like 10 plus Pro Tour events. Like for Injustice 2. Injustice 2, I don't know if you guys remember, I competed back then. I was flying like 10 weekends in a row to 10 different tournaments back to back to back to back to back. So like, even if I missed the first one because it was such short, you know, time notice communication, I had many more chances. In this Pro Tour for Mortal Kombat 1, there was only 4 tournaments. 4. There's East Coast Throwdown, which was this one that I'm, you know, addressing right now. There's Ultimate Fighting Arena, which was in Paris about a month later. There was the Brazil tournament, which has not happened yet, and that one was very wishy-washy. Like, at first they were like, oh, Brazil's going to be the weekend after the Paris tournament. And then there's Combo Breaker. So you got East Coast Throwdown on October 20th, and then you were going to have UFA like at the middle of November, and then Brazil the weekend right after UFA, and then you were going to have Combo Breaker all the way at the end of May. So it's kind of weird to have like the first 3 Pro Tour events, you know, like weeks apart, and then the 4th Pro Tour event like 6 months later. And that's it. It's just those 4 Pro Tour events. Injustice 2 had the best Pro Tour by far, not just with like how big it was and how many tournaments there was and how much money was on the line, but also communication and like, correct me if I'm wrong, but in Injustice 2, I believe we had the whole entire Pro Tour mapped out before the game even released. So Injustice 2, let's say it released in April, I'm pretty sure we knew the whole entire like 10 plus Pro Tour events and the grand finale and how much money was in each tournament and the date and location for every single tournament. We had all of that mapped out nice and neat in April. Like, it was either before Injustice 2 dropped or maybe a couple days after it dropped. That was beautiful. So like, you can plan your year accordingly, like which tournaments you can make it to, you know, which states you're flying to, which countries you're flying to, this and that. But for Mortal Kombat 1, there's only 4 tournaments, and the very first one was announced 2 weeks before that tournament. You know, like East Coast Throwdown, I feel like most people that went to East Coast Throwdown, they were already planning to go there. And then it just so happened that it became a Pro Tour. You know what I mean? Like, they already had like an idea that it was going to be a Pro Tour. Like, you kind of had to like predict like, oh, I think East Coast Throwdown might be the first Pro Tour event, so let me just talk to some people, maybe so I can have like a hotel and airplane set up just in case. But yeah, it's kind of crazy that it was announced 2 weeks before, and Mortal Kombat, it dropped September 14th. So that's like a whole 3 weeks later that they finally announced their first Pro Tour event, you know, 3 weeks after the game dropped. So for those 3 weeks, we're just like left in the dark, clueless. Like, Is there going to be a Pro Tour? Is there not going to be one? If there is, do we have enough time to be prepared, to get ready? And there's only 2 stops in America, and then there's 1 stop in Paris, 1 stop in Brazil. So if you're someone that doesn't fly internationally, you only have 2 chances to get points at offline events, which is East Coast Throwdown and Combo Breaker. But East Coast Throwdown, if you couldn't make that 2-week notice, that means now as an American player that doesn't travel internationally, you only have 1 chance to get points for the grand finale, which is Combo Breaker. It's very like unorganized, very small, and you would think, esports are only getting bigger and bigger as time is going on. So Injustice 2 being in 2017 and having, like 12 Pro Tour events, and each Pro Tour event having 20K on the line. And Sonic Fox, when Sonic Fox won the grand finale for Injustice 2, he got like 100 grand. Whereas the grand finale for this, Mortal Kombat 1, you get 30 grand. And this is in 2024. So it's just crazy. Like, not only has the amount of events been cut in half, even less than cut in half, because it went from like 12 to 4, but also the money got more than cut in half, and the communication got much worse as well, and the preparation got much worse. So yeah, it just seems very messy, very unofficial, very unorganized, and it's just really unfortunate because, like I was saying earlier, Mortal Kombat's my favorite game of all time. Like, I entered Mortal Kombat tournaments with Mortal Kombat 9, and I just loved the game so much, even though there wasn't that much money on the line. I traveled a lot for Mortal Kombat 9 just because I loved it. So for me to like go from that to like, oh, now we're in the esports era and we're gonna have big tournaments with big money and big, professional. I look at this Pro Tour, and I look at like Tekken Pro Tour, I look at Street Fighter Pro Tour, and it's just really unfortunate. It kind of bums me out that my favorite video game is kind of, lacking behind, and Mortal Kombat should be the best, Mortal Kombat should have, for how much money it makes and for how awesome it is, it should have the best Pro Tour. So it just kind of sucks that it doesn't. And not even just comparing the standard to like Street Fighter 6 and Tekken 8, but also just comparing its standards to its previous games. Like Mortal Kombat 11 had a way more professional, organized, established Pro Tour than Mortal Kombat 1. And Injustice 2 had an even way more professional, organized, established Pro Tour than both MK11 and MK1. So it's like we're going backwards, and it just really sucks. So now if I click over here, this is the Brazil tournament that got announced. So this got announced January 19th, and the tournament is going to be March 2nd and March 3rd. So at least they gave us like a month and a half notice instead of like 2 weeks notice. But still, like, it would have been nice to know that a couple months ago. A lot of people can't just be like, oh, I'm going to Brazil in a month. You know what I mean? And so that's not even the biggest problem. At first, they announced Brazil being in November of 2023. And then now all of a sudden it's March in 2024. So not only is that a big issue, but also if you guys read this post by Hella Larry, this is the venue for the Brazil event. This is a local bar and cannot house more than 50 people. And the Pro Comp is advertised for a max of 256 people. This is a huge safety hazard, and it's a shame that NRSWB went this cheap with the event. So yeah, like, I've never been to this location obviously, and I don't know if this is true or if this is it, but from what it seems like, this small bar is where they're gonna have the Mortal Kombat Pro competition. And yeah, if we're gonna have 256 competitors and also people running brackets and things of that nature, it doesn't look like this little building can fit all that. I mean, I don't know, I could be mistaken. It could look, a lot of stuff looks bigger when you go inside compared to when you're looking at it from the outside. So maybe that's the case with this, but it looks kind of small. So maybe it's not the correct venue, and I don't know if NRSWB like went cheap and like they couldn't afford something big. But like when I went to Brazil for Mortal Kombat 1, that was at this Brazil, I think it was called Brazil Game Show. Super huge convention. Like, I want to say it was almost 100,000 people in attendance there. Like, it looked like it was as big as New York Comic Con or something. That is an event worthy of, you know, having like a Pro Tour event, because that could fit thousands of competitors if need be, and, you know, bracket runners and stuff like that. But this bar, I'm not too sure if this is going to be run properly and official and professionally at this small location. Yeah, man, so that's about everything. Once again, I want to say, you know, I know there's going to be a lot of people in the comments like, why are you being negative? Why are you looking at the bad side of things? Look, I'm one of the biggest Mortal Kombat fans out there. I love Mortal Kombat. I want to see Mortal Kombat do well. I want to see Mortal Kombat thrive, succeed. I don't want a unprofessional, sloppy Pro Tour. I don't want online that doesn't function properly, that doesn't have as much content as games from 20 years ago. You know what I mean? I just want Mortal Kombat to be the best it could possibly be. So that's why I'm giving the constructive criticism that I gave in this video. And everything that I said is factual. You know, there wasn't that much opinion in this video. It's mostly all factual. So yeah, with that being said, tell me what you guys think down in the comment section down below. Thank you all for the love and support. Mortal Kombat, love you. Just want you to do better. And I hope you guys all have a good night. Peace.